Hello everyone, I hope you're doing as well as you can be during this crazy year of 2020. I've been looking forward to making a video and releasing it for you guys for some time, and today I want to talk about the upcoming ski season, winter 2021 for Europe. How this has come about, I was watching a video from a vlogger who is based in Japan, and he was talking about the upcoming ski season for Japan, and he was discussing some of the questions that are currently going around, as well as mentioning some of the current major opinions and attitudes towards this season. And that just got me thinking about Europe. Being stuck in one place this entire summer has had its benefits, but then at the same time it has made me miss the mountains dearly, and I am sure a lot of you are in that same position as well. And we are now closer to the ski season than we are further away from it, which has got me thinking more and more about this year in Europe. And the two major questions are, is there going to be a ski season? And then if so, what is it going to look like? So my answer to the first question is yes, but we will not see a ski season like anything we have known. And it will be very, very hard, as it currently stands, to actually go out and actually ski and travel to ski. If you're a national within one of these countries that has loads of skiing to offer, chances are actually you're going to be very lucky and have a lot of empty slopes to enjoy this winter. For us here in the UK, the current situation at the end of August is that the government is constantly removing and adding countries to and from its quarantine list. And importantly right now, Austria, Switzerland and France are on that list. So what that means is that if you were planning to travel out there, or in fact if you are out there already now, you will have known what has gone on in the last few weeks, I'm sure. You would have to self-isolate in the UK at your house for 2 weeks upon returning, and you wouldn't be allowed to leave. Now that throws up all kinds of conundrums and challenges for people who have jobs to get back to, who have businesses to run, who have other things that they need to return to, and it's just raised any question. It's raised a lot of doubt and uncertainty for people about actually going abroad. There's been a lot of what they call staycations here in the UK. The reason why I mention this now as it is important is because it's kind of set a precedent, and I want you to sort of picture ahead to January New Year or February half term in one of these major ski nations within Europe, and try and picture the chaos that will ensue if overnight there is a drastic increase in cases in, let's say, France. Our good choice of France, because they had a really popular end to their season. Just kidding. And let's say there's a massive increase in cases in a ski resort even. Let's make it realistic. And overnight there's an entire valley, or even the entire skiing gets shut down across all of France, and we go back to exactly where we were at the end of last season just gone, with mass panic, people trying to leave by any means necessary, and it will, as I said, just be chaos. And the travel situation is just so challenging, not just because of these quarantine lists that are, at the moment, they're very reactionary, but they're understandable. But think about it from this another point as well. The airline industry is on its knees right now. So if you want to get away, traveling is very hard via plane. People, they're not confident to fly at the moment because of the fears around catching the virus. Prices could soon be too high for anybody to afford for these flights. To make matters worse, particularly if you like going skiing in France, Eurostar cancelled all of their ski trains for this season a few weeks ago now, and that everybody was dumbfounded by that. Surely you would want to put more trains on in the knowledge that not many people are going to want to fly. And all it is doing right now is making more people decide that if they are going to go, the only way they can do so is driving. Which leads me on to Brexit. So December the 31st, Brexit, the effects of it will fully kick in. We will have absolutely, definitely left. And so you've got to think, what's that going to mean with border control, freedom of movement, and any financial costs around that. So it's a lot to consider, and it's understandable to be quite pessimistic, even though I don't like to be negative, particularly about skiing when I love it so much. I realised that actually probably right after I got back from lockdown, I actually posted a video talking about how now was a good time, how then was a good time to book your ski trip for next year. And at that time, I think actually it was because there'd been a series of travel companies, airline industries that had released a number of cheap flights and cheap deals. But as this summer has gone on, there's been a number of developments whereby you know, it's shown that actually you've got to be flexible. You've got to think that things might change and not everything is certain, and that's very hard. That's very hard for everybody. So yeah, it's understandable right now to be thinking about that, in the sense that there might not be skiing for some, like a lot of Brits this year. But let's look at the positives now. So there are a number of resorts that have glaciers who have opened for some of their summer sessions throughout the last few months. And I think all eyes have been on these resorts to see how they have managed the situation, what are the rules and the limitations that they have put in, to show that it has been doable. And a lot of those are some of the things you'd expect. So face masks being worn on public transport, including lifts, as well as that, thinking of some of the things in the resorts, like making sure you have a slot booked at a restaurant, no live music, background music, but no live music. So you've seen it work, but you've got to think again now, how is that going to look in 3-4 months time in a popular resort like Teen, like Ishgul, which I know is working desperately to try and rebrand its image ahead of this season after getting a bad reputation for being a hotspot for the coronavirus at the end of last winter. But picture any of these big resorts, popular resorts, with not just Brits, but also the Dutch, the Germans, the Austrians, the Italians, everyone that likes to go to these resorts. There are tens of thousands of people that descend on these resorts each week, but especially during February, the busiest month of the year. Now, I can't see resorts allowing that same volume of people to visit the resorts this year. In some ways it won't be possible, but those who will try to, they will still have to find some way to make sure that social distance methods are either followed or that any of the rules are just respected, and that if they are ignored or if those rules are broken, then they are punished appropriately. I made this video now because in the next few weeks I think is actually going to be quite a telling point over just what a ski season will look like. September, you know, we're moving out of summer now, we're going into autumn, the weather's changing a little bit, and a number of the ski resorts will be starting to get their marketing up and running. And so people will be looking at there and seeing, you know, are they marketing it in a way that is showing actually there's going to be a ski season for foreigners, or maybe is it just domestic? And it will be the same thing looking at you know, big tour operators, the likes of Crystal and Ingham's, and you know, I got to say one thing, that if you are going to go this year, I wouldn't look at going and staying in a hotel, you know, with an all-inclusive, you know, that has your breakfasts and your buffet dinners and everything, because that would just be a nightmare. You know, try and get hold of a self-catered chalet now. I would think actually that a lot of them have probably already been snapped up, but at least then you're actually going to be, you know, within your own little bubble, as it were, and you won't have to worry too much about, say, mixing with people. Don't expect to have a winter season where the bars are going to have live music and it's going to be, you know, open until 3 a.m, dancing on tables. Certainly to begin with, that is not what this ski season will look like. I want to know what your thoughts are. What are your concerns? Are you optimistic about this current season? And do you have any questions? If so, let me know any of your thoughts in the comments below, and I will get around to replying to those. But again, make sure if you like this video to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you very much for watching this video today, guys. Wherever you are around the world, look after yourself. Make sure you're checking up on friends and family and just making sure that they're okay during this time. The craziness will end at some point, but yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later. Take care, everyone.